Alright, hello, my name is Connor Pearson. I just got done recording 20 minutes of footage of this review that I didn't have my microphone on the whole time. Anyways, I'm gonna get into Iron Lung and, send help now. That really pisses me off. I'm not even kidding. Anyways, just getting right into it. I just got out of Send Help. God, that really sucks. Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna do this quick. We'll do it quick. 5 minutes. How about that? 5 minutes each. Send Help. I really enjoyed it. Favorite aspect of it was character. I thought the character was very good. My favorite aspect of the whole movie was the characters. I said that literally from the moment the plane crashes to the moment that the guy tries to leave on the raft, literally that whole section was my favorite part of it. Mostly because of the character synergy there. I loved just seeing, this nice preppy girl, try to kind of not flirt, but, just try to be a nice person compared to this scum of the earth businessman who still thinks of himself as the king and the boss in this scenario. But seeing their interaction, their synergy, their connection, loved it. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, when he got on that raft, I kind of got a little disappointed because I was really vibing with that whole, opposite attract, least favorite part of it was probably, I thought that some of the character moments, especially from the guy, weren't super strong. They weren't, in my opinion, I don't think he would have tried to leave on a raft. Maybe that's just my inner self wanting them to just get along and for the whole movie to just go smoothly and for it to end perfectly, because ideally that's the good ending. They both set aside their differences and they have a relationship and they get off the island perfectly fine. But realistically, it's a Sam Raimi movie. That's never gonna happen. So eventually something has to happen. But I think you could have sold it a little bit better, because the only real reasons as to why he would want to leave the island, the only two real reasons I think that they gave for him wanting to leave the island was, one, when they were drunk and she was like, I don't think I ever want to leave this island. That's a fair reason. But I think you could have done a lot more stuff like that where she hints at not wanting to leave the island. I guess you can say that she didn't want to build the help sign, but that was so long ago by that point. It was like a month in. You could have fleshed it out a little bit more and gave more of a reason as to why he would want to leave, because up until this point, all that we've seen, at least from his perspective, is her just being nice to him and making him shelter, making him food, taking him on hikes, nurturing him. Literally, other than that one thing she said, there would be should be zero doubt in his mind that she would ever want to do anything nefarious. And then, second reason is he's just an asshole, which, you can say that about literally anything in this movie, that he's an asshole. But, if you're saying that, are you saying that there can't be a character arc? I just expected there to be a character arc in this movie, which there kinda is. A little bit, but not much, and it's definitely not with the guy. But yeah, that's really my only gripe with the movie. Next up, I'm going to talk about how this movie is really not as much of a horror movie as you might think. One, it's a Sam Raimi movie through and through. You could easily tell from the plane crash when she's swimming through, and then there's the jump scare of the guy, or the fight with the pig or the boar, and then the final fight, or the all that stuff. Anything to do with anything involving blood at all was very Sam Raimi. And it's a style. I like it. It's fine. I can vibe with it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not Sam Raimi. But yeah, I thought he killed it. But the thing is, those three things that I mentioned are really the only horror aspects of it. There's really only two scenes that I got scared in for this movie, and that's when the fiance comes back, and then there's that jump scare with her as a zombie. Again, very Sam Raimi. And then the only other part was just the general eeriness after he finds out that she killed the fiance. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just not a very scary movie. It's much more, it's whatever. But also, I'm a sucker for character-driven movies. I love me a good character-driven movie. And, this movie's whole plot, whole story is driven through the characters, and I loved it because of that. And other than that, I don't really have much other thoughts. I'm at 6 minutes. I would be at 10 by now if this was the first recording, but that is gone now, so whatever. Anyways, moving on. I'm gonna give Sent Help an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was very enjoyable. Absolutely recommend it. And I'd personally say that if you're in the general audience, I'd say go for Sent Help over Iron Lung. But if you're not in the general audience and you're in the mood for a more scary horror movie, go see Iron Lung. I thought it was much more scary, in my opinion. This is the third time I'm reviewing Iron Lung. Hopefully this time it actually gets uploaded. One, I want to start off by saying that Iron Lung, for Mark's first time writing, directing, acting, editing, producing, literally name it, he did it, knocked out of the park. And I'm giving this movie a 7 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10, but I'm going to drop it down to a 7 out of 10 because I'm not going to review this movie as if it is a indie movie. I'm going to review it as if it is an actual movie because it's getting numbers like it is a real movie, and I would know that Mark would probably want it to be reviewed as a real movie and not given pity points because it was made on a $3 million budget by one guy and he doesn't have much to work with. Yada, yada, yada. He would just want it to be the same. At least I assume. I don't know the guy. But yeah, I thought Iron Lung, 7 out of 10, very good movie. Number one, I think it has a lot of glaring flaws. Mostly, I've heard a lot of people say the same sentiment. The editing and the directing is not great on his part. I think there's a lot. You could probably cut out a good 30 minutes from this movie. Not like one big chunk or anything, but like if you just went scene by scene, you could probably cut out a minute of just random scenes that you do not need in there. I thought it dragged on a little bit just because of there's so many just random, like, he's just looking at something, and it's just like, okay, we get, establishing shots, you don't need that many. And then the only other one was dialogue. I thought dialogue was not great. Dialogue, like, there's multiple times he just says the F word for no reason. That's YouTube humor, that's YouTube humor, which I guess is his style, but it doesn't come across well in film. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Dialogue just wasn't great. I think it needs to be, which, you can't make great dialogue when you're alone in a submarine, but I think even just the random F words weren't great. Other than that, that's really the only main complaints I have. My number one favorite aspect of this whole movie was the set. Love how it's kind of like a video game, if that makes sense. The set evolves with you. Instead of, from the get-go, you just see the submarine and you're like, okay, well, I get it. It's going to be, the main plot of the movie is going to be him exploring this ocean and coming back and doing stuff like that. No, the main plot of this movie is not about him exploring the ocean really at all. A little bit, but I feel like the plot is more so, like, the story is more so driven of him discovering aspects of the Iron Lung program through discovering things in the Iron Lung. Like, when you first see it, you would never think about the crawl space, or the computer, or the hidden wire message thing, stuff like that. I thought discovering that stuff along the movie was very entertaining, and like whenever the new thing would be uncovered, absolutely loved that, and getting to learn more about that, favorite part of the whole movie. Aside from that though, I don't really have any other too big takeaways. You know, Mark's acting, it's fine. I thought the voice acting was okay. But yeah, I mean, is there really anything else I need to touch on? Because it's a very simple movie. I mean, I guess I could talk about, like, my second favorite aspect, it's everyone's favorite aspect, is the use of the X-ray camera. That is a very, very cool idea. Absolutely love that idea. Seeing, like, you know, from the get-go, you see it, and you're just like, oh, it's just a weird camera that needs to see through blood. So everything looks like, you know, that skeleton is just a skeleton. When he comes back up, it's an X-ray. So is that alive? And then, you know, when he's in the cave, and then he flashes it, and then there's the big monster, and then slowly back up, like, that was cool. I love that. But, yeah, I thought that was, the use of the X-ray camera was very interesting, very unique. I've never really seen something like that, you know? But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And then my last thing that I'm gonna finish off the video with is, Mark. I'm saying this straight to you. I don't know you. Maybe you never will. I hope you will someday. But this movie is a very big inspiration to me. I want to go to school for cinema and film and script writing and directing and producing, and just, I want to get in this industry, and I'm using this as a way to build a following, to get, like, literally exactly what you did with this movie. I want to get an audience so that I can make a movie that I want to make and have a backing behind it. And it's just very inspirational to actually see someone do my dream that I want to do, where you start out, you know, just with a small following, and then grow into being able to make whatever movie you want and be able to make your dream come true. It is so utterly inspirational, and I thank you so much for showing that it is possible to me and anybody like me that wants to do that. I mean, literally right now, I'm in the process of writing a script for my school musical. It's about dance moms. You know, it's just so inspirational. Like, actually, to be able to see you star in, direct, produce, write a whole script and do it on your own. And that's what I want to do. And it's a big inspiration. I'm repeating myself now, so... but yeah, that's about it. Final scores: Send Help 8.5, Iron Lung 7. I don't know what the next movie coming out is. I think it's Wuthering Heights with Jacob Elordi. I think so. I don't know. I'll see that next week. But alright, well, that's about all I gotta say. See ya.